Hello, everybody. Welcome to another My Music with me, Graham Coath. And in a minute, I'm going to be speaking to the wonderful Beck Black about her music and new album, Hollywood Boulevard. But first, let's have a quick advert from our sponsors. I need to get going, Mel. See you later. And as the music fades, we welcome in Beck Black to the studio today to talk to me about her life in music. Hi, Beck. Thanks for joining me. I know there's a slight delay on this at the moment, so hopefully you can hear me. Okay. Where are you coming from today?
Is there a little bit of internet?
A little bit of internet
there?
delay. A little bit of, but we'll work on through it. We'll work on through it. Where are you coming from today, Beck?
What?
Oh, can you not hear me? Where are you coming from today, Beck?
I'm out in the middle of the woods, so I might be having.
Oh, you're in the middle of the
woods?
woods?
A little bit of internet.
Wow.
Yeah.
That may.
I'm actually in the coastal area, North Carolina.
Yeah. That may explain the speedy
that's where
internet.
I'm coming from today. I'm in my music room.
Lovely, and I see you have a plethora of instruments behind you. What's your main instrument?
Yeah. I'm off the. Yeah. Big fan, and I'm part of the family of Roland. I have a Fender amp behind me. So, but yeah, I mainly play keyboards. I am a classically trained pianist, and I also dabble with the bass guitar, but that's not my main instrument.
That's not your main thing, but yeah, you also have a little go at that from time to time. Oh, she's gone black on us as well now. We can't see you.
Sorry, people texting. Yeah. So anyway, but yeah, so I mainly play the keyboards. The Hollywood Boulevard album that we just released a few months ago, that's actually 50-50 synth and 50-50 bass guitar. So that's kind of like how the album sort of came about. I was living in Hollywood, and I picked up a bass guitar and started writing songs. So a lot of those songs are bass guitar songs.
And did you grow up learning music? Were you in a musical family growing up? I'm not sure whether she can hear me or not. Did you grow up in a musical household?
No, none of. I went to. No, not at all.
No. So
I think we might have a delay, like a 5-second delay.
I think we do. I'm just going with it at the moment.
I can hear you.
You can hear me, okay. So if you didn't grow up with a musical household, where did your love of music come from?
My godfather taught me about the blues, and he used to always give me a different harmonica every time I would see him. And I didn't understand at the time that each harmonica represented a different key. I just thought he was always giving me harmonicas, but I listened to the blues as a kid, especially living out in the middle of the woods, and the blues really spoke to me. And I think that's where my musical interest started, and was with the introduction of the blues. And then my parents would play vinyl records like the Doors and Led Zeppelin, and there was something about it that inspired me. But I never chose to be a musician. It chose me.
That's the same for loads of people. Fab Gear Fave Rave says, "You look stunning." Thank you very much. Fab Gear Fave Rave. I also think our guest looks stunning as well. Oh, maybe you mean our guest. There you go. I'm sure he does, because it probably doesn't mean me.
That's
so
crazy.
in terms of what's that?
He's so wonderful to work together.
There we go. So in terms of that, then music chose you, etc. What were the first bands that you
I
really
said
got
Fab Gear
into?
Fave Rave is crazy.
Yeah. Who were the
Pink
first?
Floyd, big
Pink
time.
Floyd. Yeah.
I used to, yeah, Floyd. I used to think they were actually aliens.
Well, they may well have been. They certainly they certainly played some interesting gigs. In places like Pompeii, etc., which looked almost extraterrestrial like in terms of what they were doing.
Yeah, there really was something about Pink Floyd when Sid Barrett was the leader of the band, and his artistic, his creativity. I mean, I really actually love some of the early Pink Floyd, with Pigs on the Wing and that whole album Animals. I almost feel like a lot of it reminds me of the Kinks, and I just feel like they were just way ahead of their time in general, because they basically started, I believe, the psychedelic movement. And one of the first bands I ever entered was a psychedelic band called Heavy Water Experiments, where I just played backup keys and sang. So that was kind of like the beginning of my music career. Um, and then I started going off on my own. Another band that I was inspired by, but later on in life, was Joy Division. And
Right.
whenever I started my solo career, Joy Division was my go-to to learn how to play, with the keys and by myself, and experience my own voice and emotion. And on my new album, we did a song called Transmission, a cover of a Joy Division song. And we have a new music video coming out on March the 23rd, on Wednesday,
It's
March
such a
23rd.
great song, that song, isn't it? I mean, what was it about Joy Division that you loved so much? Was it Ian Curtis's voice, or just kind of the sparseness of it?
I think it's the spirit of Ian Curtis.
Yeah.
And it's actually bringing tears to my eyes a little bit. But there was something about him. It felt like he was speaking to me, you know? And I know that it's just the way that he recorded, but it just feels like he's speaking to you. And I don't know. It felt like there was some sort of message, some sort of subtext there with his music. And but the most unfortunate thing is that he passed away the night before his American tour, and I just feel like there would have been so much more he could have given us, you know, and I wish she was still here today.
Yeah.
So there's something about Ian Curtis. I feel like his spirit really rings through the music.
No, absolutely. It's an amazing group of people collectively as well. I mean, that felt like it was a lot of creativity pulling, maybe in some ways pulling against each other, as well as pushing towards each other in that group. And that sort of has kind of come out later on within New Order, and the fact that actually that group ripped apart as well. But maybe there was always a lot of tension in that group.
Well, love will tear you apart, and thus New Order was born out of Joy Division. They created the 80s, you know, they created 80s music.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So let's talk about this album. And actually, first of all, I know I've got to talk to you about your association with a Beatle, because that's amazing. Mr. Ringo Starr. How on earth did you get Mr. Ringo Starr to play drums? Is Ringo Starr in your little black book?
Well,
That's what I want to know.
Well, his engineer, Bruce Sugar, they've been working together for over 13 years. Bruce records and engineers all of Ringo's latest singles and albums, and they've been working together for a long time. Bruce and I decided to do a co-write. So he had come up with a concept of who's going to save rock and roll. So I went in and co-produced it, co-wrote it. We dropped it down a key. I said, let's double up the tempo, added to the lyrics. And we had this amazing product of You're Never Gonna Save, Who's Gonna Save Rock and Roll? And because that's
Beck
something
Black,
that we would discuss, that how much
I said
how
it's
pop
you.
music is
Obviously,
sort
you're gonna save rock and roll, right?
I would love to.
Yeah.
So we approached Ringo about it, but they were working on an album at the time. So Bruce didn't really want to bother Ringo about it, but Ringo listened to the song and said, "Hey, mate, I love it. She's got a great voice, but we're busy with this album right now." But he said the way of the future is to take his drums, like stems that they've never used before, and try to put it towards the tempo of the song. Well, Bruce attempted that, but it sounded contrived. In a song about rock and roll, you can't use, you know, backing tracks of drums from other songs. It just didn't work. It was a great idea because Ringo's always thinking about the future as well. And a year went by and we still hadn't released the song. So back in January of 2020, Ringo and Bruce were together at his place in Malibu, and Bruce brought the hard drive with the stems, and Ringo said, "You guys still haven't recorded drums on that, mate?" And Bruce said, "No, we've been waiting for you." And he said, "All right, let's do it now." And he did 4 takes.
Absolutely amazing. How did that feel for you to have someone so iconic in the world of rock and roll play drums on a track of yours?
It was one of the biggest blessings I've ever had in my life. Really, really is. And I can never thank Ringo enough. I mean, he really helped me and helped me believe in myself, because as a rock artist, as an independent artist, you just feel like you're just being dragged underneath underneath the pavement, underneath the bus every day, because either your social media numbers aren't high enough or you don't appeal to a certain dynamic. And that's where rock and roll really gets buried. And I feel like indie artists do too, because I know I'm an underground artist, but I really want to come above ground. So Ringo helped elevate me in a certain way, and even helped me feel better as an artist, that I am accomplishing something, I am being seen, I am heard. And on top of all of it, Ringo offered to be in the music video. So Ringo's his videographer slash editor, which is named Brent Carpenter, he edited Ringo in there, but Ringo said he only wanted to be in it for 4 seconds. So he's in the video of Who's Gonna Save Rock and Roll, 3 seconds in the beginning and 1 second at the end. And we had the private YouTube link. We sent it to Ringo, and he said, "Hey, mate, I would have been in that more." But we said, well, somebody said they only wanted to be in it for 4 seconds. So we honored his wishes.
Well, do you know what? It's 4 seconds of wonderfulness, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, sometimes 4 seconds is enough. Okay. If people haven't seen the video, go and check out the video. It's on YouTube, and there he is right at the beginning, and as you say, near the end as well. And the rest of the time we get to look at your wonderful mouth. So there we go.
And my website, which is beckblack.com.
Check the website out, because that's the important thing. So let's talk about the new album. That is an album and a half. It's an absolute stonker. That's a good term over here. All right, just in case you didn't know. I was listening to it last night, and far too loud on these headphones, so I probably got tinnitus now after that. But it really is a fantastic album. But you know what we need? We need good weather for this album, because it's really kind of a stick it in your car and go driving album. Do you agree?
For sure.
So what's the statement you're making with this album?
Well, I was living above the Hollywood Boulevard, and there's so many different characters on Hollywood Boulevard. And to me, the songs translate as different characters. There's a dirty little angel. There's
one of my favorites, by the way. Yep.
Thank you. Thank you very much. There's She's A-OK. It's like Talk to Me. It's like everything kind of comes together, and then it ends with Life's a Circus, because that's really what it is. And that's what Hollywood Boulevard is to me. It's a circus. And so it's a statement piece of my life and the different characters in it, and me being a character in it as well.
Elizabeth Thompson says the Hollywood Boulevard album rocks. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thanks for doing that. Elizabeth, share this later. Let's let other people know that it rocks as well. That's the important thing. All right. It really does. It really does rock. And I think we've been missing someone like you, to be honest, for a while. I mean, growing up through, I mean, I was a teenager really through the early 80s, etc. But there were some big, powerful voices in the sort of female genre of rock and roll. Yeah. And we've been missing that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've gone through all of the, don't get me wrong, there's been some great female vocalists, but they've been very sort of pop orientated or soul orientated or R&B orientated. But that, you know, rock and roll orientated female singer that really gives it some. We've been missing that lately, so I believe you're bringing it back for us. Do you feel that way as well?
Yeah, I do. I really love Susie Sue and the Banshees.
Yes.
Missing Persons, Del Bosio, Kate Bush, and of course the Bangles. But yes, I would love to be considered that voice. It's just all about being heard, you know. Yes, I do feel like I am that voice, but the thing is, it's about being heard, you know. Just like, thank you so much for having me on your podcast today. Maybe there's somebody listening that can help in some sort of way, because one of my main goals is to get over to the UK and start touring, because I feel like the UK supports me so much more than America right now. You know, I can only really get some gigs. I play in Los Angeles a lot, and I'll be going back out there soon to promote my new music video for Puppet Show coming out soon. But I just feel like the UK really gives me more love, and I really want to go tour the UK.
Okay, so that's a good question.
Right now, watching, if you know any booking agents or you know some clubs.
Well, we're gonna tag a few of those in so that may happen. So, is there, and that leads me on to the next question, then, is there someone that may be touring the UK at the moment or is out there at the moment that you could go, yeah, I could go out and support them because I love what they're doing as well, and I think I could really open for them and light up the stage?
Idols, the band, I would love to open for them.
Oh, yeah.
My friend Nick Linnae just produced and engineered their album. If Susie Sue were doing a reunion tour, I think that would be amazing.
I'm making a note, by the way, so that we tag these people in, so that we make it happen. You know, that's the way it should be.
Yeah.
You know, it just needs a little tag, someone to look, doesn't it? That's all it needs. Right. Yeah, Ringo and Paul. Yes, that would be perfect.
There's Justin Smith. Ringo and Paul. Justin Smith. He created the music video for Transmission, which is coming out next week.
Oh, thanks.
We went
Justin.
to film school together at UNCW.
Ah, there you go. Film school person. Yeah, well, my son's just finishing.
Thank you, Justin.
My son is just finishing film school, and then he's got to get a job. So, anyone need another cameraman? He'll be available soon. So that's your ambition. That's your ambition. That's your goal for the future, is to get over to the UK, do a tour, get heard, etc. Well, we need to make that happen. You know, we really do need to make that happen. Where do you want your music to go?
I think that's so important. as an artist is to be visual. I can play it now. He wants to call and Ringo, huh? When he goes on tour.
I've just noticed as you leant forward, actually, that amazing looking amp you've got there in the background that's got kind of the leaves on it, etc. That's tremendous. That's a lovely looking little piece of kit there.
Thank you. My boyfriend created.
Well, I think your boyfriend should do custom cabinets for everybody.
Thank you. My boyfriend William Blanche, he created this design for me since I love the design.
Well, it's truly something.
Well, hey, I'm sure he'd love to do that too.
Yeah, I'm sure he would. I mean, I think
it's a design kind of like the Beverly Hills Hotel, and he knows I love that design, so he created.
Oh, how fantastic! How fantastic! Now, listen, you've been a great guest today. Thanks for joining me and talking to me about this music.
Well, let me know, and I'll let.
Yeah, we must do it again. Hopefully next time without the lag, because it's a little bit like that. But hopefully we might get better technology next time. It depends where you are. What we really want to do is see you over in the UK. So if anybody's watching and they can help get this wonderful lady, Beck Black, over to the UK to play a gig, that would be absolutely marvellous. Well, not just one gig, a whole load of gigs. In fact, if you've got a support slot going, give it up. Beck Black will absolutely rock it for you. Where is the album available? Is the best place for people to go via your website? I think she's coming round. Beck, I don't know whether you heard that at all. Is the best place for people to go to get your music the website? Yes.
I think that's the best way, the best traffic we can get right now is to go to the website, so then you can decide how you want to buy it, stream it on Spotify. I don't make that much money, but if you buy the whole album on Amazon, for example.
Yeah, well, we don't want people streaming it. We want people buying it.
To go to beckblack.com.
Beckblack.com. Don't stream it, buy it, folks. Streaming doesn't give artists any money whatsoever. So just buy it. Make sure look at those shades. Those shades don't want to be streamed. Those shades want you to actually spend some money of your hard-earned cash and actually buy the album. Beck, it's been an absolute pleasure meeting you today. keep rocking, my friend. Okay, and we will see you in the UK soon. Thanks for joining me. Bye for now.